Hello guys, level contest for final round season 2 is over, and it means that we have final amount of levels, and this is final part of review. I believe it's fifth. And we start with Compact Cube, which is honestly really cool track from scenery, from mechanics of the game. Quite long time I didn't see anything like that. At some point in Zeep Cube there was like trend for all this puzzle when update with trash element came, which could delete elements if they're touched. And they create a lot of such cool tracks. Track itself are really not hard. It's just flat line with some corners, so you just need to drive, and most amount of time you will save on correct turning and maintaining your speed. But mechanic itself are pretty cool. It was just fun to drive. Box, and we finally came to the new things. So during this round of contest, a new update came out. It's called Soap Update. Developer added a lot of slippery objects, bubbles that turn your wheels into the soap and you loosen all your grip, and couple new cars in the game, but I have really bad experience with them by losing a lot of FPS from 165 to 45. But let's go back to the track. It's not really hard track, and I believe after try to put every new stuff here to just try them out, to show them out, and I enjoy it. It was at some point it was really hard to find the proper line in these circumstances, but I enjoy this track a lot. Storm Battery, and this is second iteration of this track, and I would say from like difficulty, I believe it become easier. So on my personal opinion, after change the power of his fan that try blow your back and add more guidelines on the tracks, still in some moments I find it really hard to learn the proper way how and where you need to go. It's when you're going through small bulbs to the line, it's where I was confused, and I went to photo mode just to see and understand how I need to go. But overall, couple times you do it and it's become understandable. Tracks, as I said, become slightly easier, so more enjoyable, I guess. Orbit. Cool idea of all these curvy elements. Yet again, with these new updates, you see all checkpoints and all this green stuff and how camera changed, so it helps. Track itself, I believe it wouldn't be really hard if it wasn't so transparent. Again, my problem, maybe it's problem of my monitor, basically, or I don't know, but when you use this dark transparent stuff, it's really hard to understand where you need to go. And on the track, the most confusing element was at the end. There's no signs that you need to go into the funnel, so I basically lost couple seconds just going around to understand where you need to go, so be aware. Slippery Soapway, and second track for these new updates with all these new slippery soap elements. And I wouldn't say that this is a really hard track, it's just show you how all these elements can work. And the only difficulty for this level could be that on each your jump you need to align your soapbox straight, because you can't turn during these soapy surfaces, and this is the only way when you can go out. So I would say it's medium easy tracks, still fun, still cool because of all these new features that came out, and it gives you opportunity to learn how to behave on all these new surfaces. 1, 2, 3. I believe a couple rounds ago we had this feature when people try to use the same layout over and over, and usually it's really fun and cool tracks when you need to do basically circles 1, 2, 3 and go through like finish stuff. I really enjoy it in terms of mechanic of the track. As for the track, I didn't find it really hard. It was medium speed, no big checkpoints. Well, there was one, but most of people can do it, I hope. So not really hard and partially fun track. Minetest Logo, and yet again not really hard track, but really cool mechanics, really cool scenery, and a little bit confusion. It's all here on this track. So first loop, first 2 checkpoints, and then all other. As you see, it's completely not hard. It's basically like basic level, flat road, really easy doable turns. But confusion came from the last jump, where you need to align your speed, your soapbox to not hit the last checkpoint, and the finish itself. So I suspect that finish somewhere there, and that's why I jumped, because road lead there. But it's cool, it was fun, not hard and fun. Cube of Walt, and opposite from the last track. It's hard. I really don't appreciate this back and forth mechanic in the Zeep Cube, because by the engine of Unity or this game, it always try to force you turn around, and you need really slightly adjust your steering to prevent that. And I spent quite some time to finish the first part of this track. All other parts, they're not hard. You just need to go through one checkpoint to another. They're basically all in a line that you easily can do. I was slightly confused at the end, but overall, if you can do the first part, all other are pretty easy, and it's just all in terms of time, how fast you can manage to finish this track and not crash in first 4 checkpoints. One fine day, yet another medium fun track where preserving your speed is the main goal. There is no really hard element. The first, I could say, this speed, but because it's at the start, it gives you the most value of preserving your speed. So the more efficient you go on this hill at the beginning, the more speed you will have through whole track and faster you finish. Using grass is also really cool. It's change your grip on soapbox, so you need to be really careful on driving grass, because any drift, any hard corners are make you slower and you losing time. And final surprise element, U-turn and other stuff. It's unexpected, and depending on your speed, there's a different way how you can handle it. There's no really hard elements, and it's still fun and it's really enjoyable to drive. Workshop by Ghost, and the first jump, first element, as you can see, I use air brake. Without it you do 360 and still landing correctly, but it's slightly confusing then. After that it's pretty slow and okay level. Maybe the only problem is this upper loop and transition to it and from it, and then fan just throw you up into the finish. And honestly, I think this is one of the level where after slightly cheated, because it's definitely faster than 30 seconds. So to make it less, his brake to put like correct time. Birdhouse by Kerncup, and as usually I slightly biased to Kerncup track. I really enjoyed them, but this track was quite hard, but doable. It's still fun, it's still okay. All these transitions, they're done normal. It's not like really insane speed, but if I would play this level like couple months ago, couple rounds ago, I would say it's really definitely hard, because all this transition from vertical to horizontal position is so hard for me that I usually fell off. And checkpoint 4, this slight jump, it's the place where I lost a lot of time. But the finish is great. Even if you're really slow and barely made it, you will finish, yes, with bad time, but still finish. So I really love that it gives opportunity to finish everyone. Skatehouse by well, as always. And I believe this is the second skate track from him. Maybe there was a couple more which I missed, but 2 or 3 rounds ago he created outside summer skate park. This is autumn inside skate park, and I really enjoy all these jumps. And as you can see, I'm doing air brakes just to prevent my soapbox turning. And in the end, there's another real cool feature. You need to grind on the rail to finish, and it's like in real skate park. So potentially it's the part point, especially if you really lose time in some places, and maybe you won't make it because there's no boosters, you're just gravity. But I enjoy this track. Clouds of the Kistdom, and for me it was pretty hard track, like really hard, but I did it, so I can't complain. But honestly, I think not a lot of people will finish it in ZSL, because some parts, some elements are really tough, and it's mostly all these transitions, and I'm barely made it, and I'm not ashamed to say that after 4th checkpoint, I was extremely lucky not to hit the transition when you go from vertical to horizontal part. I usually crash there like over and over all the time. So yeah, just happy to finish this one. Gerbil Escape by Snippet Scout, and this is another really hard track for me. I spent like 3 or 4 sessions of 7 minutes just to try to finish it, and all the time I was really struggling. The first element, it's like U-turn where you need to use barrier, and it's okay, fine. Then you see the sign slow down, you don't understand how much you need to slow down. But like 2-3 attempts you made it. Then goes this weird pipe, which again I spent like a lot of time, and it was my nemesis. I was so struggling to understand how you need to path it through. And then the last jump, I wasn't like descent and last descent in the pipe, if not the last track from like skate park, where I understand that I need to like brake a lot, and in this case I need to brake and turn right to be able to go into the pipe. So it just was too fast for me and really sharp and not intuitively understandable turns on these tracks. ZSL Pathfinder 2 by Beam, and this track is pain. It's completely pain for me. So no boosters, you need to, on one run, to find the perfect line to finish all these checkpoints, which usually some of them are on the ceiling, some of them on the floor. And as I said, you have all the speeds that you can maintain from level to level. 3 levels with 4 checkpoints, and you can see in chat I spent like 4 or 5 sessions just to try to finish this track. And you will see I was extremely lucky a couple of times, and I finished it, and I'm really happy that I finished, and I will be happy even more if I never will see this track again. But from other side, I would say if you know the correct line, you can do it in 34 seconds. Cityscape by Parzare. And if I remember correctly, Parzare created a couple tracks for other ZSL, and it always was like funky. I believe it's not really hard track. There's a couple really interesting moments. Yet again, grass, which change your grip, then transition into the pipe. Some kind of blind corners, and after the 4th checkpoint there is like low grip vertical wall which you need to go upper, and the tunnel at the end with, I would say, speed check at the end, where you need to have at least some speed to go on the metal grid where there is a fan and it sucks you up. But if you're like screw up somewhere before it, you won't gonna make it. So just a couple tries and I believe almost everyone can do this track. Zeep Cube. At first I saw it's a really fun track, yet another Rubik's Cube, but then I tried this track over and over and over and over, and I was honestly just lucky to finish it, because the yellow grid, if you have a lot of speed, you fell off. Then transition into the white to the red, it's a really narrow turn, which yet again is really hard to do, and it seems that all turns, all transitions, all jumps are done for specific speed. If you exceed it, you will fly off from this track. So for me it was really hard track, which I just lucky to finish. 777 by Evie Pancakes, and yet another really funky, weird track, which I believe have a lot of not aligned transitions where Unity can kick in. And because all these tracks done from first point of view, at some point I was just lost on the track. Basically I was spending like 4 sessions just to learn how to do this track, and that's why I believe for most of the people it will be hard to do in one 7-minute session. So without any guidelines, without any errors, and basically you don't know where to go, you just need to remember all your lines. I believe this is the biggest problem for this track. So guys, thanks for watching this video. This was a part 5, so let's see what the judge will choose for ZSL. In most cases, I really enjoy this video because there are a lot of tracks which are not hard, but really enjoyable to play. There's not hard elements, but how they did all these features that they implemented are really cool, and I really enjoy to play them. And now you see the missing part from Shadynook. It's basically the part of his track with AFK, so it's fun. And yeah, I missed it on his track, so here we go. Thanks for watching, see you on the next video, bye.